This is the 97 Baldwin Motorsports Trophy truck. I'm going to go over a few details with you. It's a Chevy Silverado. However, there is nothing on this truck that is actually produced by Chevy or General Motors. As you can see, these headlights aren't really headlights. They don't illuminate very much. They're actually stickers. The entire truck is made out of 4130 chromoly, which is about 3 to 4 times stronger than regular mild steel. The entire truck is built behind a philosophy: if we don't have to slow down for bumps, we don't have to slow down. Really, the only thing that slows this thing down is corners. This is what we think works, and it's shown very successful. We've got 2 championships in it. And Rambo, shut up! I'm trying to be famous here. I'm doing Hollywood work. It's a Croyer racing engine. It's kind of like a stock car motor, but 100 cubic inches bigger, so it's much bigger, and it's fuel injected with no restrictor plate. So it makes about 800 horse, but it makes a ton of torque, about 800 horsepower, and the vehicle's about 5,900 pounds. Anybody that knows anything about racing knows just by looking at it, it's not very aerodynamic. It's like pushing a brick through the air. And to be able to go 144 miles an hour, which is what this vehicle is capable of, to be able to push this vehicle to that kind of speed is very, very impressive, because they do not like going through the wind or the atmosphere very well. It's a small block Chevy. It's 455 cubic inches. It runs on leaded 114 octane racing gas, so it's very expensive, about $10 a gallon, and a 73-gallon fuel cell. Goes about 150 miles depending on the terrain, so they're very expensive to run. If you work everything down and you calculate everything, it's about $1,000 a mile to run one of these vehicles, in a rough race. So it's very, very expensive to run one of these vehicles. To build a competitive race car, it probably costs $700,000 American dollars. But forget about all that. It's all the design and finding the right people to design it and the right people to build it. This truck took 3 months just to build on a computer before they even cut a tube or ordered materials for it. So there's a lot that goes into play making sure everything fits. There's 25,000 parts on this race vehicle, and if any one of them goes wrong, you're parked on the side of the road working on your tan. Over here, obviously it's a front engine. We've got bypass shocks, and we have a coilover shock. Coilover shock just kind of does a little bit of dampening, and the bypass shock does most of the dampening, and that's what helps us go over the really big bumps without being jarred around in the cab. Tire is a big part of the winning. They have to be very, very strong. Just to give you an idea of how strong this tire is, it takes a tremendous amount of effort to pop it. I mean, you could sit here all day with samurai swords and knives and screwdrivers, and you would never, ever be able to puncture it. Now, if you hit a rock at 100, the size of a microwave oven, then you can get a puncture, you can get a cut in the tire, and then you have to pull over and change tires. And those are the kind of things that we hit out there in the desert. We make mistakes, and occasionally I'll blow a corner and hit a rock, and I got to get out and change it. The tire changing system is very unique. We carry a air bottle on board, and it has about 3,000 pounds of pressure in it. And when we get a flat, Johnny gets out and he releases the air jacks. So what he does is he comes out front here, he pulls this cork right here, this comes out, he turns this knob right here, and it propels the truck upward, pulling both of this side of the truck's tires off the ground. Changes the tires, changes the tire, whichever tire's flat, then lets it jack down, puts it back up, and then we're on our way. Usually he can do all that in about a minute and 25 seconds. Occasionally, if we have a problem, it can turn into, disaster. It can turn into like an 8-minute tire change. I've had those happen, and that's just catastrophic. You can't win races if you're not moving, so we try and stay moving at all times. And I try and be very, very careful and take care of my equipment and just put myself in a position where I can win a race. And I think that's why we're so successful.